All right, today we're going to dive into 5 really powerful daily rituals that can, believe it or not, completely shape the rest of your life. And these aren't some complicated theories, they're simple, practical habits. So, let's get right into it.
But hey, before we jump in, let me just ask you this. What if the life you're dreaming of isn't about some huge, massive leap? What if it's actually built on just a few simple, powerful habits you could literally start today? Let's explore that.
Okay, so the first thing we really need to get our heads around is this big idea, the consistency principle. Because true, lasting success, it's not about those grand, heroic things you do once a year. Nope, it's all about the small things you do every single day.
And this quote, it just nails it. It's the daily practice, it's wiring these habits into who you are. That is what builds a legendary life. Seriously, what you do every day matters so much more than what you do only once in a while.
All right, let's get practical. Ritual number 1, you have to master your morning. How you kick off your day really sets the entire tone for the quality, the productivity, and the energy you'll have for all the hours that follow.
You know, the ancient Spartans had this wisdom, and it applies perfectly to our lives today. Now, it's not about a physical battle, right? It's about preparing for the challenges of your day. A solid morning routine gets your mind and body ready, making you way more resilient and effective. A really powerful morning routine can be broken down into 3 simple parts. First up, you gotta sweat. Moving your body releases this incredible protein that helps repair your brain cells, and it fires up your metabolism for the rest of the day. Second, journal. This simple act reconnects you with what you truly value and makes your goals crystal clear. And third, learn something. In this fast-changing world, if you're not learning, you're falling behind. The more you learn, the more you can achieve. Simple as that. Okay, moving on to ritual number 2. This one is all about getting intentional. It's about stopping the habit of just reacting to your week and instead actively designing it. You're literally creating a blueprint for your own success.
Seriously, think about it for a second. Your calendar is a way more honest look at your priorities than your words will ever be. If something is truly important to you, is it in your schedule? Putting your priorities on the calendar, well, that's a real act of commitment.
So what does this actually look like? Well, you're literally drawing a map for a world-class week. You block out non-negotiable time for that deep, focused work. You schedule time for your team, but you also schedule that sacred time for family dinners and for your own health. You even put your morning routine and your learning time right there on the calendar. See, vague goals just lead to vague results, but a detailed schedule like this, that leads to incredible progress.
All right, ritual number 3. This is a big one. This is how you stand out in any job in any field. It's the practice of consistently and intentionally going the extra mile.
You know, there's a huge difference between just meeting expectations and completely blowing them away. Most people live on the left side of this chart, just doing what's asked. But the real opportunity, the real growth, the real impact, that's on the right. It's about showing rare initiative, thinking ahead, and delivering value people didn't even know they needed. And when you make this a daily habit, you become what's known as a merchant of wow. You are constantly surprising and delighting people, your customers, your teammates, your boss. And this practice doesn't just make you valuable, it makes you absolutely indispensable.
Okay, for our last 2 rituals, we're going to shift gears a little bit. We're moving from the outside world to the inside world. These are all about cultivating your inner game, the mindset that truly separates the good from the legendary.
So you see this number up here, 60, just 60. What's that all about? Well, it may seem simple, but it represents one of the most powerful commitments you can make for your own growth.
It's the 60-minute student rule. It means that every single day you carve out 60 minutes just for learning. The most successful people on the planet have a beginner's mindset. They are always curious, they're always learning, they're always soaking up new information. And let's be real, in the world we live in now, this isn't just a nice to have, it's an absolute necessity. I want you to think of it this way. Daily education is your shot in the arm against disruption. The more you know, the more you can achieve. And that leads us perfectly into our 5th and final ritual, which really starts with this one massive question. It's so easy to get caught up being busy, right? But are you busy with the right things? Are you absolutely sure you're climbing the mountain that leads where you actually want to go? You know, the only way to fight that being busy feeling is to stop, to find some silence, some solitude, and just think. To ask yourself, are my daily actions really in line with my deepest values?
to figure out that one single project that could change everything for you. This is where real clarity comes from.
So, we've walked through 5 really powerful rituals. But you know what? Just understanding them isn't enough. It's just the beginning. The most important part of this whole thing is what you do next. So let's talk about turning this knowledge into real action.
I want you to really let this quote sink in. Ideation without execution is nothing more than delusion. Ideas are great, but if you don't act on them, they're just daydreams. The real magic happens when you close that gap between knowing what to do and actually doing it. So I'm going to leave you with one final question, and this one is just for you. You don't have to tackle all 5 of these at once. That's overwhelming. Just pick one. Which one of these rituals are you going to commit to starting tomorrow?